when it was created in 1939, what Eastern region was River State, Bayelsa State, Akwa Ibom State, Cross River State. Those ones, that's COR. So the CO, that's the Calabar Goja, would be, and that's what we call, that's what became Southeastern State in 1967. That's Cross River and Akwa Ibom, or they call it Aqua Cross. And then River State is what we now call, oh really? And from Uganda, your lecture is as if you are discussing Uganda. It's an African issue. But Africans are not, instead of us to think about how to restructure, we are thinking about unity. We are not serious. But hopefully we will be serious. So what you have in River State is Rivers and Bayelsa. I mean, what Rivers and Bayelsa today will be the rivers of the time. So what Eastern region was then was the Cross River State, Akwa Ibom State, River State, Bayelsa State. That's 4. Then Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Imo, Enugu. Yes. And then you now have part of Bayelsa, of course, part of Bayelsa was in Midwest. Yes, you are right. Then you now have Southern Cameroon, was also part of the Eastern region. But those ones broke away in 1953. They had a promise. The leader of the group was called Dr. Endeli. They had a promise from the British that if they were able to win under another platform, or be under another umbrella, apart from NCSC, or they can secede. So they did that in 53, and then eventually seceded in 61. And the reason they left was because of the word in this book, total control of the entire region. The Igbos made them suffer. And I'll tell you something, I don't think the Igbos were bad people. I think they were at a level in their civilization where the responsibility that was thrust on them was too much than they could handle, considering where they were in civilization. And this is me being fair. You know, it's like a person who is not ready for something, and not only are you giving him freedom, you are giving him power over others, including those who were his bosses. This is me actually being as fair and objective as possible. The major problem of the Eastern region at the time was that the people who got the power were people who were not ready for it. They were not ready based on their history. They were not ready based on their culture. They were also not ready based on the fact that now they have to lead those who were leading them. In fact, those ones were not leading them. I'm just using leading them as a way to respectfully say what's happening. They were preying on them. So think about it, for instance. Imagine, for example, the South in the United States before the war, before the Civil War. Imagine that you tell black people, let's assume for some reason you had, say, 1 million black people in the South, and then you had every other race in the South was about, let me give you the real, using Nigeria example. Let's say in south of the United States, you have 7 million black people, and then you have, other races, Chinese, English, Germans, everybody, Irish, in the South, numbered about 5.4 million. You now have 7 million blacks, 5.4 million other races, whites, Chinese, Indians, everybody. And Native Americans, everybody, and Indians from India. You then say, I'm going to deliver the blacks, I'm going to set them free, but after setting them free, they will be the one leading the South of the United States. And the people who used to have them as slaves will now be subservient to them, because the collective number of all those people is not even enough. Like if you add together all the other groups, not just 5.4 million people, but the blacks alone in the South are 7 million. Now these blacks are going to be the one leading the South United States. Do you really think it's going to work out well? The people who enslaved them are still there. What I think really happened, and I don't know if the British did it on purpose because they did something similar in some other parts of the continent, but I think they should not have done it based on numbers. I mean, it has happened. And I'll tell you why. It's not because I want the Igbos in bondage. Of course not. It's because cultures are supposed to evolve. Even the English, England became what it is right now through evolution. Many wars. God did not create England. Men did. You evolve. And as you evolve, your statecraft will evolve. As you fight wars, your strategy, tactics, these things will evolve. One of the reasons I always talk about Oduduwa is because, apart from the fact that he's the progenitor of Yoruba, and I always say, the man was a strategist, was a strategic thinker. How can a person in the 1000s decide that for his town to make progress, number one, he has to wall the town, number two, he has to create 3 toll gates? Because he had fought a war. And because he also had to protect the interests of the new city-state that he was building. Those things will force you to evolve. You come up with innovative solutions that will help you either, protect what you have gained, or you're able to even acquire more. Now, the folks in the Southeast, with all due respect, had not evolved to that point. Listen, everybody, wherever you wake up is your morning. So this is not to say somebody is good, somebody is bad. Whenever you wake up, that's your morning. But these guys were still asleep when they gave them power. Now the problem is that because you are still asleep, what is Jarokpa in English? English scholars, can't call Jarokpa. Don't make sentence, so just a word, please, if you know it. I've never seen that word before. I'm checking. A somnambulist is a person who works or performs other activities while asleep. A condition commonly known as sleepwalking. Thank you. You could have said sleepwalking, but thank you for the big English, because now I have a new word. Some people here are somnambulists. See, I just added to my collection. What's happening with the East is somnambulism. They are not fully awake. And you see, when you were growing up, I don't know if it happened to you. Say your parents say, don't sleep, maybe dinner is late or something. And they say, don't sleep. Your mom says, don't sleep, I'm almost done. And then you are watching TV, you sleep off. Most times, it happened to me, your mom will wake you up and then they will feed you just to make sure that you have something before you. I don't know if it happens in your own home, but I'm Yoruba. And anyway, that's my experience. You don't have to eat everything, but you actually eat something. So imagine you are half awake. Your mom, instead of feeding you, this is a very, very powerful thing I'm about to say. Instead of feeding you, gives you matches, tells you to go to the gas cooker, go to the kitchen, put on the gas cooker and start cooking while you are half asleep or half awake, wherever you want to see it. You are sleepwalking to handle inflammable materials. You're supposed to put on fire. You're not even awake. That's what happened to the Eastern region. The people who had the right to go to the kitchen were people who were sleepwalking. They were just feeling their way. And that's why you are not caught. You have a situation where you don't have social intelligence. You can move into other people's land and dominate them there, and the only reason you will do that is because now you can. Before the British, nobody born anybody, papa made them do that kind of thing. Then go decimate you. But now you have people, but you don't have that social intelligence because you have the majority, and you now have power for, like somebody wrote in the comment section earlier, administrative convenience. That's where the problem with the Eastern region started. Let's continue reading. It says, the Igbos, before the balkanization of the former Eastern region in 1967 into East Central States, Southeastern States, and River State, the Igbos were totally in control of the entire region. They had no problem leaving their enclaves. When you say they had no problem, of course they will not have problem now. They're not going there to help anybody now. They had no problem leaving their enclaves to rivers and southeastern states, that is Cross River and Akwa Ibom states, in search of a better life due to the presence of seaports in Port Harcourt and Calabar. They did not go there to develop, like the organizing Igbo man said. We developed Port Harcourt. They did not go. Onyibo built Port Harcourt. The survey was done 1912 to 1913. Onyibo built it. Seaports were there, that's why you went. Let's be humble.